Beyond the Ring, a podcast that covers all things in the stock show industry, from the informative to the insane, starring Ryan Rash.
All things being equal, my way is always better.
And Dale Hummel.
Your ignorance on corruption is their power.
Now on with the show.
Welcome to Beyond the Ring. This is Dale Hummel, along with co-star Ryan Rash.
Hello.
Ryan, I have to admit, I've been mildly entertained by your week.
Yeah, because you get pleasure from my pain every damn day. And so, first off, let me update you on the whole wallet losing situation. So, again, 2 Fridays ago, on my way from DFW to Dulles to judge a sheep and goat show in Virginia, somewhere between airport security, landing in Dulles and Washington, no, wallet's gone. Filled out 3 different lost and found forms, all this other stuff. So make it all the way across to California, all these things, no ID, no credit cards, no debit cards, no nothing. Anyhow, get home, get a new license. But in Texas, because I don't know why, it's 2023. In Texas, when you go to either renew or replace your license, they give you, they print out on paper your license, and it takes 2 or 3 weeks to get the actual license in the mail. So this has been a nightmare because they don't believe it's real, all this other stuff. Friday, on my way to the airport, this last Friday, I get a lost and found notification that my wallet has been found. They don't tell me where. They don't tell me what's in it. Pay us $50 and we'll ship your wallet to you. Okay, great. Of course, I won't be home to get it, but it's fine. So it's back somewhere in the mail, somewhere.
With or without, you don't know. You haven't received it yet.
No, I mean, but they say it's mine. So I'm assuming even if they cleared the credit cards and the cash out, they left the ID in there, the driver's license in there. Other way, there's no way they could tell it was mine. You know what I'm saying? But so anyhow, go to Hotlanta because I'm going to judge Sheep and Goat Show in Perry. And Amerimart is also going on. So rental cars were hard as hell to get anyhow. Go to Enterprise and they will not rent me a car because I have a paper license and I do not have the actual license, even though I have a passport, I have debit cards, I have credit cards, I have checkbooks, all with my name. No, will not rent me a car. Went to every freaking rental car place in the Atlanta airport. Either they had no cars or they would not do it. So this one man at 6th Car Rental takes pity on me and says, hey, there's a little mom and pop U-Haul car rental deal in kind of the ghetto of Atlanta. I'm telling you, they will rent you a car. He gives me the number. I call him. I tell him the situation. Of course they will rent me a car. I go by Uber from Atlanta airport to this, and I literally thought I was going to die. Like, I thought this is it. I'm going to get shot, carjacked, whatever. I get this rental car. Away we go to Perry, Georgia. Coming back from the show, it's late. Show ran long time. It's late, so there's not going to be anybody there. So just drop the keys and a little overnight thing, all the stuff. I have an Uber waiting on me to take me to my hotel.
It seems very, very simple.
My dumb ass gets out of the rental car, hits the lock button before I get my luggage out, and slips the keys into the overnight drop box. Now my luggage is locked up in the rental car in the ghetto at 9:00 at night, and I am going to die.
And you call me for support, and what do I give you?
I don't even remember. It's like a bad dream.
It was just good entertainment.
Oh, is rough. But I am in Indianapolis, my favorite city in America that I get to judge in. I have a Hertz rental car. They were very nice to me. So life is looking up. But this has just been a God-blessed mess.
But it's gotten a lot better since you got to Indianapolis. My week's been good, Ryan, but my day has not been the best. So I don't check our personal mail that often. My wife doesn't. My kids don't. It just sits there. Well, I thought today I had a little extra time. I go down to the mailbox and I pull out, it was jam full. And there's a lot of families that have sent fecal samples from goats and sheep that I encourage. I tell it's part of the customer service. Send them in. We'll run the fecals and make recommendations on what to worm with and so forth. But I think they've been sitting there for a few days in the hot sunshine, and they're in Ziploc bags. And I go to open those bags up to get the feces or the shit out, as commonly known, to put in the fecal sol so I can check on egg count. It was the worst I've ever experienced in my life. It knocked me over bad. And I don't usually run the fecals, but it was a Sunday and there's nobody else here to do them. So I did them. That has been my day. 4 hours of looking at shit.
That's lovely, Dale.
No, it's terrible. I'm going to avoid doing it in the future. I think that there's someone that's more capable than I at doing that. And I'm not very good at it. I don't do very well finding the eggs. It just, not my, I let somebody else do it.
Well,
what did you leave anything at the White House last weekend?
No, I'm sorry. I don't do cocaine. I'm crazy enough without drugs. I don't need them. But that is, here we are. There is, and again, I was talking to Clifton about this before we started recording. Now, I'm just going to level with all you people. I do not believe any way in hell this is the first time that cocaine or some illegal illicit drug has been found in the West Wing. Now, look, I'm just going to lay it out there for you, whether you want to hear that or not. That's what I'm just saying. But the fact that the cocaine has been found, this is a national news story. The press secretary has done everything she can to make the Biden family look worse and look guilty. I think this is another thing that tells me something is going to happen and Joe is not running for president. Because again, this didn't have to get out. And even though it's out, they've done everything to make it worse. And most importantly, there's 9,000 video cameras in that place. Probably more than that.
There is no question they know.
They know who did it. And since they're not clearing the Biden family, that just makes it look worse.
Guilty. Now, I agree that there's a lot of behind the scenes trying to get Joe off the ticket, but I blame this. I don't know that this is or is not. I think this is sheer stupidity on your little girlfriend, press secretary, and the Biden family.
She's not the one that put the story out there. The Secret Service did.
No, but she's the one that can't answer a simple question about it.
Well, I'm telling you, I think that she's doing shit to make them look worse. I do.
I don't think she is. I think she's that ignorant.
She very, very may.
But I agree with you. There has to be a conspiracy by some within the Democratic Party to oust.
There is no way this story had to be out there. None.
I don't know. I can't.
No. Dale, do you know how?
Yeah, I would agree. You're right. Think about what's gone on in the White House that never got out.
Okay, let's think about all the shit the presidents have done.
Yes, that's what I'm referring to.
This little bag of cocaine did not have to be out there for the world. No, I'm just telling you.
So who's behind this? Who's the one pushing the narrative to oust Joe?
I'm not that. I don't know.
I agree with you. It's happening, but I cannot tell you. I cannot point to any person that would be doing it or people that would be doing it.
Yeah, I don't know who is that.
And how do you like? Well, to me, there's a continual spin. First, it's found in the library. Then it's found in a high traffic area. Then it's in a cubby by the Situation Room that there's hardly anybody that goes to.
Right. The last story is it's in a cubby by the Situation Room. Now, there ain't no damn guest in the Situation Room cubby, people. Now, look.
And there's no way there's cameras over every square inch, like you mentioned. I don't know about in the private residence, but I guarantee you.
So I did a little research on this. Other than in the private residence, there are still cameras, but there are none. It's just kind of like when you see the movies or whatever, that kind of main foyer deal. There's none in the individual bedrooms or stuff like that. But I still don't even, or that's what they put out there on the public. I don't even know if that's true because, again, you got the most important person in the freaking world sleeping in there. Somebody gonna be watching that sumbitch sleep at night.
At his state of health,
no, any of them. I don't care who it is. I mean, like, somebody's watching that person sleep at night. But
you would assume there has to be.
Yeah, but again, this is just wild, and then you know, let's just talk about more wild shit. So Trump got indicted by the whatever. Now they're saying that they're going to remove that. I don't even know, but okay, here's this. Poll comes out yesterday. 42% or something like 39, 40, I can't remember, but
just some number, right? Some number.
Well over a third, because that's how they put it. But well over a third of Americans are now much more likely to vote for Trump since the DOJ of the Biden administration indicted him. Now, again, let me repeat that. Well over a third of Americans are more likely to vote for Trump now since the opposing administration's Department of Justice has indicted him. Let that sink in.
I don't doubt that strengthens his base. I don't. Maybe it helps with some of the.
But that's crazy. Crazy.
That over a third is hard to quantify. That in a polling situation, having to explain it, I'm not sure on the accuracy of it. However, there's no question it strengthened those that were even on the fence of maybe being Trump.
These people were on the fence, and now they're like, "Oh hell yeah, I'm doing it."
Yeah,
but
amazing.
I don't know.
So while we're talking about Trump in the election, so Joe is still holding true. He's not having any primary debates, correct?
Correct.
Obviously, Republicans.
He is facing increasing pressure from Kennedy, though.
Yes. Huge pressure. So on the Republican side, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe they have to have at least 1% in 3 national polls and 40,000 unique donors.
Yes.
Does that sound about right?
Yes.
And that gets you on the debate stage. So how many do we know how many that would be? Right
2.
Oh, that's it? No. Haley said she had that easy.
I think Haley's at 2%.
And she talked about having more than enough to. That's what brought this question up. So I saw a clip with her basically stating she qualifies. So I'm going to assume there's several that qualify.
I bet not. I mean, I don't know. When Trump's got 50, okay, well, but think about it this way: there's 14 of them or something. Between Trump and DeSantis, they've got 75% of the poll.
They do, but the others are like at 1 to 3%. I mean, there's not.
I hope they all get up there. He'll just take them out one by one, like he did last time. Just
I'd like to hear from a lot of them, but when there's that many, you don't.
I don't want to hear from a damn one of them because none of them are going to win.
But there's 2 or 3 that have some good ideas that I hope will influence.
They're just going to do it again when they run for real the next time. I don't want to listen to them twice.
And there may be a vice president arise from.
Well, I'm just telling you, and I do not want y'all to think I am a DeSantis hater because I am not. I think he's done a nice job in Florida. He is in over his head, period.
It's not going to work for him.
His campaign is literally either getting paid off by Trump to derail, or they are stupider than the Biden administration. I don't know which.
I do not believe the Biden administration to be ignorant. I believe they're pushing a policy that is trying to take down our country. So I believe it's China that's dictating all the Biden administration decisions.
The alarm bells are going off everywhere for the DeSantis campaign. It's on every news thing. Like, even like the head of his biggest super PAC said this. I think the exact quote was, "This is going to be a much bigger uphill battle than what we anticipated."
Okay, quit beating up on your buddy DeSantis.
No.
I want to bring up some.
He wants to lock all the gay people up and tell you what your kids cannot do, and
that is why I was going to vote for him.
Yeah,
that was it.
I mean,
that was
great.
the changing factor. You and Joe Exotic.
I mean,
all in
he
one
is as
interview.
close to Hitler as you can find, but it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, let's talk about some crap that's going on. I believe because Biden is in office, and we've been watching this, and I don't know that we've ever just summarized it. And I know you've been away from the news a little bit, but the Gulf of Iran, high oil traffic area. So there's been 2 incidences that the U.S. Navy's had to come in to ward off Iran battleships from taking over oil tankers.
Perfect.
The Russians, for 3 days straight, have fighters over Syria screwing with our drones, shooting at them, trying to take them out. And we've got China pushing closer to Taiwan with ships and aircraft here 2 days ago. Why do you think all these things are happening?
Because the leader of the free world is weak.
Very weak. And the whole thing with Russia and the drones, they're not accomplishing anything other than letting Putin show his strength to his people after the Wagner coup upset everything and questioned his authority. So I think he's trying to go out there and strong arm the U.S. a little bit. Why wouldn't we come back just as hard as possible on him?
Dude, don't.
There's one thing we can do that would end him. What is it? We could end him.
End who?
Putin.
How are you going to end him?
There's a solution.
You going to shoot him?
Well, we won't talk about that. I don't know if it's legal to talk about that.
I don't think it is, but
honestly, in all seriousness, there's an easy solution, and people have talked about it, but it never seems to get as much traction as it should. If we would simply ramp up energy production, drive down oil prices, we bankrupt him very quickly. He can't barely afford to survive, let alone fund a war when oil prices are down. And we have the ability, oil and natural gas, to bring those prices down by simply ramping up our own energy production right here, which benefits us, is a huge pain in the ass to him, where I think it dang near bankrupts Russia. And it would end the war in Ukraine. I promise you it would do it. Why on earth would the Biden administration not at least facilitate this in some manner?
Dude, don't even.
It is honestly that simple. We don't need to send weapons. We don't need to do anything. We simply need to ramp up energy production.
Again, this is running long, so we don't have time to talk about any of the Supreme Court stuff or the fact that Biden has come out and said that Ukraine can't join NATO until the war's over, which I think is just crazy. But I mean, again, I want to put this fact out there because I saw this today, and since Joe Biden has taken office, he has spent 353 days on vacation. That is 39.2% of his presidency. Time in office.
I was not aware. I knew there was a lot. I wasn't aware of that much.
40%.
That's interesting.
Affirmative action is over, by the way.
I did hear that, and seem to be people very upset about that.
Very angry. Very, very angry. Very angry.
So it is now back to you're hired upon your ability or let into a college upon your qualifications.
Yeah. Isn't that just terrible?
That's awful. The world's going to come to an end. Come to an end.
I think we should all move to Canada or somewhere. But yeah, anyway, Jesus, people are nuts.
Well, should we move on to the main topic? It is a good main topic.
Well, hold on. I got some BTRJLA stuff to do.
What about the top 10?
And you forgot your water boy shit and all kinds of stuff.
We've got all kinds of things.
I know.
We're already at like 20 minutes.
I know, because I had to go off about cocaine and other things. But top 10 intermediate hog in the BTR JLA of it all. Dallas Headley from Oregon is number 1. Taylor Eubanks from Idaho is number 2. Maddie Coates from Arizona is number 3. Clara Kowalski from Oregon is number 4. Zane Downey from Montana is number 5. Courtney Andrus of Idaho is number 6. Kinley Cron of Texas is number 7. Mallory Walter of Oregon is number 8. Jaden Bird of California is number 9. And Colt Mello of California is number 10 currently. So congratulations to all of them. And I
apologize. Was that Kinley Crone or Cron?
I probably messed that up.
I have a former student by the name of Crone, maybe a daughter.
Kinley Cron, Krohn from Lamesa, Texas.
I believe that to be Crone.
Okay, sorry.
But you were close enough.
We all know that I'm terrible at this, but anyway, ReproLogix is a national top 10 award sponsor again this year. They were in 2022 and they are in 2023. ReproLogix is a full-service cattle and small ruminant reproduction company headquartered in Fort Scott, Kansas. Our goal is to provide our customers with the highest quality services at competitive prices. We combine knowledge and expertise in reproductive physiology with state-of-the-art equipment and technologies to maximize the reproductive performance of our clients' cattle, deer, sheep, and goats. Founded by cattlemen, we also understand the importance of our outstanding customer service to the success of not only our business, but to the success of our clients' operations. That's why our entire team is committed to providing open, honest communication with our customers at all times. They have the best technologies and they are a wonderful company that Nathan has got to be one of the smartest people I've ever met because he has hired and employs two of the most intelligent women I know, Callie Ellis and Tara Hummel. So thank you, ReproLogix, for being a national top 10 award sponsor for the past 2 years.
Thank you to ReproLogix and congratulations to those top 10. That is good. With that said, ShowFresh H2O is giving back by sponsoring each and every episode of this podcast. If you enjoy this podcast, please give ShowFresh H2O a try. This product was specifically designed for livestock and horses to instantly remove the chlorine from drinking water that may lead to reduced water consumption. At the low cost of $1 per 5 gallons, the investment is minimal with huge upside. Thank you, ShowFresh H2O, for your support and passion to make the stock show experience the best it can be. Main topic time. We didn't really come up with the title, Ryan, but I've got one.
Riding the wave.
Riding the wave. Everything MagnaWave. All the above. We have what, 6 to 7 days, 5 days to come up with it before it actually drops. We'll be okay.
Yeah, something.
To better educate us on this technology, we have the MagnaWave specialist, Jessi Shafer. Jessi currently serves as a product specialist for MagnaWave, assisting clients, enhancing personal show success and herd goals. Jessi and her husband have 2 children that are actively involved in showing livestock. They reside in central Iowa on their family farm. Jessi, welcome to Beyond the Ring.
Thank you for having me today. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, Jessi, we're excited to have you. And again, we're going to learn all things MagnaWave. And again, for some of our listeners that may not know what MagnaWave is or what it's supposed to do, just give us a general kind of short intro into the MagnaWave technologies of it all for people that may not know or may know.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll keep it short so it's kind of fun and we can talk about what it does and other exciting things. So it's called PEMF. So it's pulsed electromagnetic field therapy, and that is such a mouthful. But at the heart of what it does is it helps get rid of inflammation in these animals, and you can see why that can be beneficial on a variety of levels, from disease to, not tracking right, lameness, all those pieces. So that's what we do, and it's all natural. There's no drugs involved, and so that's why it's such a great piece for people to have in the show ring.
They won't want MagnaWave at the White House. No drugs involved. But anyway.
It'll be out.
Well, Jessi, I've got a couple questions for you. And I think the little bit of research that I've done, I've been exposed to it on a minimal level, not as much as probably I would like to. But I've noticed in the little bit of research.
That's because you're cheap.
A little bit of research that I've done, not only do we have this in livestock, but do we have a similar process going on the human side?
We do. So the devices you see in the barns, you can use on humans. You can use on equine. You can use on your small animals. It's across the board, and it really helps. So you'll see when I have my machine at a show, for example, I'll have the kids will be using it because they got hurt at football or track or whatever. So yeah, it's designed and safe for everybody.
Excellent. And help me just a little bit. And I've researched it a little bit, and I have some families that we've sold goats to that actually own a machine and use it on a very regular basis. Does most of this center around, and I guess the logic, and I try to think through things, if we can reduce inflammation, that's going to do a lot of good in a lot of places. Is that the main focus of the MagnaWave, to reduce inflammation?
So what it really does is it gets to like the cellular level, and when we can treat the cells or get those cells healthy and create a better oxygenation and better cellular transportation, we can get that inflammation out of the body. We can see inflammation sometimes really physically, especially in our goats and our lambs, our pigs and our steers, and like, setting in those joints, or, not moving correctly, or stiff shoulders. Or they can be showing other signs of inflammation and, gut health, or, off from appetite. And so that's what we're really targeting with these animals. And it's so neat because in the industry, it's my opinion, one of our biggest problems is we always reach for the medication or that next supplement, and this is just a way to have something that's all natural that you can do yourself. And it's pretty neat.
Like, I've seen the MagnaWave process and all this other stuff, but some people haven't. So can you explain to our listeners exactly what the machine looks like and what the tubes do and how the whole process works, so they have a better working knowledge if they haven't ever seen this happen in a show barn?
Absolutely. So in a show barn, you'll see some of the machines, someone will be carrying one, and they look like toolboxes. They're black or gray or blue. And then there's these long tubes that have they kind of are white in color. Sometimes they're covered in a really pretty blue cover. And the way those tubes work is you're putting those on the animal to the different sections that so for example, I might put my large loop right there on that goat's shoulder because maybe we're not moving correctly from there, or we got hurt or whatever. And then I would turn my machine on and it would deliver a gentle pulse to that shoulder, and it would help remove that inflammation. It looks like on the outside, when someone's looking in and they're not sure what it's doing, it looks like a gentle massage. And you can see those animals just relaxing, maybe licking, chewing, just falling asleep sometimes. And so that's that delivery of that. We're ridding that body of the inflammation, which is essentially giving them instant pain relief without any drugs, which is huge.
So it has a relaxing and calming effect as well?
It does. It absolutely does. Absolutely.
So we're going to start a GoFundMe, and we're going to get one for Dale's head.
I could use some anxiety relief. Well, I think a lot
on the human side, it absolutely does.
And Jessi, I assume a lot of what we're talking about, that pain relief and calming, is a result of reducing inflammation, reducing the pain. Obviously, the animal's in a better mood.
Absolutely. And we can see that with, we have these kids who have this animal that's getting frustrated or don't know what's going on. And then we can MagnaWave and get that pain relief. And then that animal is a different animal to show. They're a different animal to go after that food we need them to go after. They're, drinking better, all those things that are so important for that success in the show ring. We see it almost instantaneous a lot of times. Sometimes it takes a couple sessions, but that's why you see people doing it at the shows.
In an ideal world, let's just say that you either own your own machine or you have someone local that does this. How often would you suggest that someone use MagnaWave on a show animal?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask this. So that's tricky. What I love is
every damn day.
I love it when a client would come to me when I used to do it, and they would go and I would see the animal and we would see how they react to it, see if we have any major problems. So I love it when people just incorporate it into their weekly routine when they're showing. A lot of times people wait to the last minute and they have this lameness, and that's okay too. But it just really depends on the animal, because a lot of times we see different animals peak at different times, right? And like I said, it is relaxing and it is rejuvenating, but sometimes we have animals that love it so much, they're done and they're like, I feel amazing, let's go. And that may not always be the greatest, with a, already kind of wily heifer, so we like to try it just to see get a baseline on the animal. So that's always really good if you can start incorporating it from the beginning, because it can be a way to be like your pregame. You have those things that you do all the time to create that maintenance level and not have issues and not have the vet out. So it's good to just always, be in the barn when we're showing hot and heavy, once a week to every other week is really, really ideal. And then we can do those touch-ups and maintenance at those shows.
And Jessi, how long has MagnaWave been present in the stock show world?
So it's really cool. We are a family-owned company. So Elaine, our president, her father, Pat Zemer, started the company, and she's taken it over. And our company has been around for over 20 years. And it is so prevalent in the horse world and other worlds. It has been around that long. In the livestock world, I think it's one of those things that's finally catching on because people are realizing, wow, I can get these animals feeling amazing. I'm not using drugs. We can heal tendons, so much quicker. We can get back out there if we need to. We can get the puffiness out of that calf's hocks. We can, do all these different things. So it's really in the last 3 years, it's starting to really gain steam to where you're seeing more of them. But it's been around for a long, long time.
And I assume there's individuals purchasing this particular machine and going out on their own and going to shows and going to people's farms. How does a stock show family that wants to find somebody that can come to their farm or at a show, how do they find those people?
Yeah, there's so many different ways. So you can go onto the MagnaWave, MagnaWave.com, our Facebook page, our website, and it says there's a thing in the top and it says find a practitioner. You can put in your address and we'll help you find a practitioner, and you can either contact them and we can contact them as well for you. So if you just don't know anyone in your area, that's a great way to start. You can also email us. And then you can also on Facebook, there's lots and lots of people. And I'm glad you brought that up because this is one of my favorite parts about this industry, the livestock industry. I see more youth buying machines and starting their own businesses. And it has been so fun to watch these young people at 18 or younger get these machines and make money in the barns and go to college. And then, they have this side business and it's very, very successful, which is really, really fun.
Oh, that's great. So I assume, are there people from the MagnaWave company that actually go out, or is it primarily the independent person that has purchased the machine doing the work?
Yeah. So, here's a great example. So I used to run show stock therapies. When I integrated into this position for the company, a girl in college, Reagan Gibson, took over show stock therapies with my son, Charlie Shafer. And so they run that now. And so when I go to a show, what I do is if there's a new client who's purchased a machine, I'll say, hey, do you have any questions? Do you need, because we offer extensive training, a certification course online. We offer in-hand training in Louisville, Kentucky, where we're located, where people can check in. And then when someone like me, who's from the actual MagnaWave, we go through the barns and just check in with people and see if they have questions and help them in that way.
So, a couple of questions for you. How much is a machine to purchase one?
Yeah, it depends. It depends on what your goals are. Like if you're going to go run a full-time business, then you need something that can go a little bit longer. If you're going to just want this for, in your barn, it just really depends. We have price ranges to fit every single budget, and we have we have different, payment options and things like that. So it's very affordable.
Okay.
Especially compared to what we're spending.
Right. And then the other question, like I said, whether it's you or a kid or someone that has a machine, can you give me a ballpark figure on what a MagnaWave treatment for an individual animal would cost so our listeners would know?
Yeah, absolutely. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the very lowest because,
right.
Different parts of the country like New York and Florida and California, they're going to be different.
Right.
But
yeah.
Yeah, basically like our small animals. So let's say if we're at a show, our hogs, our sheep, our lambs, our goats, they should be at least at 40.
Okay.
And that session should be anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. It doesn't need to be longer than that, right? And then after that, our cattle, we really need to be at least 65, and that should be, and those are really low end, but sometimes that's what people do at shows. They give those show specials, but yeah, those are in 30-minute sessions. It's not bad.
That's definitely affordable. I mean,
Yes.
again, compared to what we're spending on everything else, I'll be honest, I would have thought that it was drastically more expensive than that. So that's very good information to know there. And like you said, sessions are like 30 minutes and stuff like that. What in your experience with it, what do you think is probably not the greatest benefit of using MagnaWave multiple times? And also, what is the most immediate benefit that you're going to see in that animal from a treatment?
Right. I think the biggest problem is when we get to a show and someone brings me over to a calf, for example, and they'll have this, puffiness or swelling in the knee or a joint or something. And they say, here, I want you to MagnaWave this, and I want it to be gone by the time I walk in the ring. And I'll say, well, how long has it been there? And they'll say, we've had this for 2 weeks and haven't, taken the time to check in with the vet or, think of other things. It's not going to dissipate it instantly, right? We're going to get some relief, but we're not going to be that, show look ready. So I would say that would be the only problem. Other than that, the immediate things that I've seen, especially in, it's really interesting with these hogs in the heat. What we've really noticed is like a MagnaWave session, they will get up and eat and drink. And if you know anything about those guys, that is game changing because when they shut down, they shut down. So that's been huge in this heat.
Excellent. And Jessi, I'd love that answer to the question on that swollen knee or that really puffy hock that's been there for a long time. I do assume that there are families that expect you to would wave that magic MagnaWave and it's gone instantly. And those things are not realistic. And I think people need to realize that. I think the research that I've done, when we use this over a longer period of time on a serious type injury like that, it obviously is going to speed up the whole healing process.
Oh, it speeds it up tremendously. We've had unique situations where, you have a hog who's climbed on a gate and now he's not walking great, or a goat who's jumped up and, hurt their hoof, and they're back out there so much quicker and now we're doing other things too. We're checking in with our vet. We're making sure we're wrapping or rubbing or doing whatever it is our species need. And when we do those pieces, plus we incorporate the MagnaWave, it's been game-changing results, and it's so cool to see.
Another question that I have, and again, I think I know the answer, but I want to make sure, like you said, it was all natural. There's no drugs involved, all this other stuff. Like the reason I'm asking this is because a lot of people use chiropractors too, but there are some shows that don't allow chiropractors to practice out there. I'm assuming that MagnaWave technicians are pretty well able to operate at most of the shows throughout the country, and there aren't a whole lot of them where they say they can't be at.
So I'll answer this in 2 parts. So this is really neat. When we integrate chiropractics with MagnaWave, so I did a lot of work where I would work in front of a chiropractor and you would loosen up, then they would adjust, and then you'd put the MagnaWave back on. We found that not only did we reduce that sore muscular soreness and tenderness, the adjustments lasted longer. So that's a piece to really, when we all work together, like in any barn, you have someone who's your skin and hair, someone who's your nutritionist, we have all those pieces. When we add this to that piece, we really get great results. As far as is MagnaWave allowed at every single show across the nation? No. And that's okay. You can use it in every state. You can do it before you go. But for example, where I am, our state fair, it's a hard no. It has nothing to do with this technology. It has to do with them wanting to keep it a level playing field for the kids. They don't want any chiro in there. They don't want any MagnaWave. They just, kids show, that is it, So it's not necessarily the technology. It just has to do with certain rules.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because like I said, I know I know lots of shows that chiropractors can, but then I know there's a handful that they can't. So again, I figured it was probably about the same, but just wanted to put that out there. And so again, listeners, if this is something that you're interested in or whatever, you need to look up the rules for the big show that you're going to or the next show. And like she said, if you can't do it there on the grounds, then you're going to need to find a way to get somebody to your barn before you go, etc. And so that's kind of, I wanted to put that out there so people that are thinking about incorporating the MagnaWave technology into their show routine, they have a heads up on that right there.
And a lot of times what we notice is these animals really peak in 72 hours. So meeting your, I've done this numerous times before we check into our state fair, right? Our state fair is a hard no. That's fine. We'll, do it in the parking lot before we check in and we're good. We're good to go. So there's lots of ways to still utilize this technology, even if it's not at a show. And I personally prefer if people start using it at home and we can really hone in and work hard there and then go to the show with it.
That makes perfect sense, Jessi. And you'd mentioned earlier that this has been pretty big in the horse industry for quite some time. So I assume there's more MagnaWave being used in horses than the traditional livestock. But between the traditional livestock, the goats, the sheep, hogs, and cattle, which of the species has grabbed a hold? Have you noticed one more so than the others?
Sure. I think it really has trickled down. So, speaking of the horses, I don't know if you saw the racehorse, Madge. She had our nose strip on and she MagnaWave. So it has been around forever. And I think we tend in the livestock world, we'll copy the equine world because we see what's going on and how it works. And so I've seen it in cattle, really hot and heavy. And then now the pigs are really starting to see, wow, this works. Because especially in the pigs, we've noticed those really problem issues like, for example, fat pockets or swollen, whatever you want to call it, we're being able to get rid of that. We're being able to get the head carriage better, the handling where they get so tight, that range of motion. So they're really hot and heavy now, starting to see it pick up in the goat and the sheep world now a little bit more. So it's there. It's just getting that out there.
And I think it's logical to follow the lead of especially the performance horses or the race horses and that industry, because they are not going to use a product if it doesn't actually enhance that performance in some manner. And there's at least a quantitative way to measure that. If they're using the MagnaWave and their time's better, it makes sense. It works rather than something subjective. So I can see the reason for following something like that.
They can't afford not to, right? I mean, they have so much riding on it.
No, exactly. Well, that's interesting. And I was unaware, I guess, Ryan, you and I discussed this once, that there were a couple shows that did not allow the chiropractors or the MagnaWave, and all of that's hard for me to fully comprehend, but it is what it is. And that's fine. They have their rules. So make sure to follow those of you that are thinking about this. But I guess I've, Jessi, been familiar or have watched the MagnaWave at shows probably for at least 5 years. And it does seem to be growing each and every year. And I think, like you said, that it's getting more traction here in the last 12 months than I've seen in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. And then outside of the show ring, we've seen some really exciting things too with our breeders. They've had a lot of success with, utilizing it to get whatever species bred they need to get bred, or to increase that sperm production and whatever we're trying to do. So we're starting to see it even step into the commercial side.
So Jessi, a question I have, how did you come into learning about this? How did you become certified? How did you get involved in the whole MagnaWave of it all? Because like you said, you were doing it and now you work for the company. So obviously they think you're pretty good at it. So give us a little backstory on that.
Okay, I'll try to keep it short. So I grew up riding. I actually grew up in Florida before I met my husband and really used the MagnaWave.
He drugged you to Iowa from Florida?
He did.
You must really love this dude a lot. Climate change difference. Wow.
Oh, I know. And he promised me, girls and horses, and it was going to be great. I have 2 boys and we show pigs, right?
There you go.
And I was like,
typical man, just lied, get what he wanted. No, joke.
And so here I am, and we started to have some really significant issues with these guys. And every time we asked someone, long story short, the answer was a supplement, a drug, a this or that. And I knew in my heart there's just different ways to go about it. And I knew from working on these horses, I had done it for years, rode, international. I mean, just that was my jam. And so started to apply these equine principles to these species and just got game-changing results. And so after that, we just started integrating it into our program. And then I ended up doing a couple guest lectures and speaking about it and helping other practitioners utilize it. And that's how I ended up where I am. I just kept at it and kept working with it. And we just found some really neat ways to use it. We even utilize it in our farrowing house for, when we have a gilt who is having a hard time with first time gilt, milk production and letdown or mastitis. We use it for that. I mean, we've just used it at the farm in such unique ways that it's just been so, so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very, very, very cool. Dale, do you have anything else that you would like to add?
No, just one last point here, Jessi, and obviously we've kind of explained the process, and I think that most people that have been to shows have probably been exposed to it. I would assume at least once, at least at the national.
You're fixing to be exposed
fairs.
to it. I'm buying one and I'm gonna wrap it around your head, and if that doesn't work, I'm gonna tighten it as a noose around your neck.
Happy to try it. I think that it's available out there if allowed at the shows. But I want to re-emphasize something that Jessi had stated there about it peaking at 72 hours and not expecting just, okay, we've got this basketball size hock on a steer. It's not going to change it in a couple hours, guys. It just doesn't do that. But if you can be smart about it and do everything you possibly can and maybe bring the MagnaWave in at home to try to heal that process, the little bit of research that I did on this, and I looked at the human side, it's being used for knee replacements and the healing of it. Basically, any major surgery, there is an application to try to help heal from the cellular level, just like Jessi had talked about before. So to me, that's where the science comes into play, and that makes me certainly a believer. And I think Jessi has stated several things here that make perfect sense. And Jessi, we appreciate you coming on and taking the time to sit down with us and record and educate our listeners a little bit more on the MagnaWave, and hopefully it's been informative to them. But Jessi, anything you'd like to conclude with?
Yeah, I would actually. So I love how you were, talking about the human side too. And it is so important that, we take care of ourselves as well as our animals. And that's why we have numerous pro teams, all over the country that utilize this in their physical rehab and prevention of injury, and just like the horses. And so I think we can really get those into the barns and have people, utilize them in really great and unique ways and have more success without always turning to our medicine cabinet, as I like to call it. But too, if anybody's interested, please feel free to reach out to me.
Yeah, and I'm on a personal note, Jessi, I want to say thank you to you and Show Stock Therapies for being a Beyond the Range Junior Livestock Association sponsor for the regional level, these both 2022 and 2023, and also for MagnaWave stepping up this year and being a national species sponsor for us. And so we greatly appreciate the support that you're giving the kids at the Beyond the Range Junior Livestock Association as well.
Thank you so much. And like I said, our president, Elaine Polly, just really believes in how much this can help the livestock industry, and love seeing especially not only our business grow with some of these mom and daughter or dad and son teams going through the barns. It's been so fun to watch and get great feedback from these families. It's been a neat place to be able to work.
Thank you, Jessi. Greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
Ryan, it is time. Would you like to bring in our sponsor for questions?
Yes. So again, the question and answer sponsor is Basic Animal Health, and they have a variety of products that will help your animal in multiple ways. And we appreciate them for not only sponsoring this section, but also if you will, when you go to the Basic Animal Health website, which is www.basicanimalhealth.com, and purchase their products at checkout, if you will put in BTRJLA in the code, then we will get a percentage of the profits from those purchases. And so that's helping get these awards for these kids. So we greatly appreciate Basic Animal Health for being a generous and giving sponsor to BTRJLA. And they are coming up with more products by the day. But right now, Basic Animal Health's 3 products are Gut Health, Show Focus, and Trailer Ride. Go to their website and support those that support us.
Are you ready?
Sure.
Tony has the first question. Hi, love the show. Our family is from South Texas, the real South Texas, Rio Hondo. Does that sound familiar, Ryan?
That's very south.
To be exact. We show steers and hogs. My question is, when it comes to hauling livestock to shows, how far is too far of a haul, in your opinion, where we begin to see it affecting the animals negatively? Thanks, and keep up the good work.
Well, I don't think there's, I'm just going to be honest, I don't think there's any haul that is too far if it is done properly. And what I mean by done properly is, no, you can, if we're talking about show animals here, no, you can't drive for 24 hours and not think that there's not going to be a negative impact. But again, if you break that drive up and let them out for a couple of hours, let them drink, let them eat, stuff like that, then you can go anywhere you need to. You just got to make sure that you're hauling the animal properly and giving them a break. Let them, I mean, a lot of people, junior nationals are going on right now. I can't tell you how many times when we went to a junior nationals, or the kids that I helped went to a junior, we'd always find a layover spot. So we could kick those things out at night, let them run, buck, eat, drink, all that stuff, start up in the morning. And then again, with the extreme heat that's going on right now, trailering at night is always going to be better than trailering during the day. So I don't think there is any, I think you can go wherever you need to, and regardless the distance, as long as you are smart about it, take precautions, and haul the animals correctly.
Very good. And I'd like to add to that one for Tony.
No.
I think any haul can be damaging if not done properly, just as Ryan said.
That's what I said.
And I also think we have air-conditioned trailers, air ride trailers. If you have Ryan-like money, you can make it the Ritz-Carlton all the way there and back. However, just again, is what he said. I think before one of those long hauls, hopefully they've made some shorter hauls to shows, jackpots, whatever. So there's a little bit of acclimation to the trailer is probably going to help. But I think I agree completely with where Ryan is. I don't think there is something too long, but at the same time, just going 10 miles, if not done right, is going to be negative to that animal. So I think we have to put everything into perspective. And I probably get too anal about it, but those rubber floor mats, the extra bedding wet down, and just making that ride a little more enjoyable in every manner we can. I have not found an air conditioner, Ryan, that actually keeps the trailer cool. So a little disappointed in that. If anybody wants to make an aftermarket air conditioner to put on these trailers, I'm all in. All in.
I never had an air conditioned trailer just because of what you said right there. We never found one that we thought was worth it. So again,
yeah, we have them. We have 2 air conditioners in ours, and I don't even turn them on. It's of no value. But hopefully, there's no reason we couldn't have better ones. Okay, let's move on. Melanie, you have no idea how you guys make my every Friday. Nice job, Ryan. Nice job.
Thank you. I do my best.
Thank you for doing what you do. Regarding judging shows, what is the best contact method to reach both of you, and how can we get both of you to judge at the same time?
Well, you should never want Dale to judge, period, so don't contact him. Me?
It's not been done. And how far, whether she's not done, how far in advance should I make the contact?
Oh, I'll be real honest with you. I am, and again, and this is current right now, I try very, very hard not to book more than a year out, but every single weekend they're booking me for the next year. And so again, depending on when your show is, and then getting Dale involved, you got to get him off the Ponderosa, which he doesn't like doing unless he's going to a shark dive or some motocross nonsense. And so that, but I don't know. I would start with Dale and then go to me, because again, you got to get Dale out of the kitty cat and Billy Goat complex.
I think it's the second part to me is harder to answer, Ryan, and you're really good about you're right now booking a year out. I don't even feel comfortable booking a few months out, because I never know what's going to come up and how difficult it's going to be. So I'm very hesitant to book a year out. And then when you go shorter, it's a challenge. And I love judging shows. I would love to get away and do a few more, and I don't get out to do as many as maybe I would like to. But Melanie, I appreciate all the positive comments. I think the best way to contact either one of us is, I assume Ryan, I think Ryan's phone number's on the Beyond the Ring Facebook page.
My number is 979-229-1549. Do not call me. I will watch the phone ring. Text me. I am very serious. I will watch the phone ring, people. I am not joking. Text me.
Yes, and I would prefer the text as well, and I think you could probably find my phone number.
It's on Humble Livestock Facebook page.
Probably there. So with that, Melanie, thank you, and maybe I do, Ryan, and I hate to admit this, but the few times we have either judged together and or back-to-back, I have enjoyed those.
I have liked it too, because I get to tell you what to do. It's great fun for me.
Great fun. Next question comes from Steve. Thank you for your honest discussion about the stock show world. Do you think the popularity of showing livestock will continue into the future?
Do I think the popularity will continue? I tell people all the time that of all the things that I've been exposed to, seen, done, been involved in around, the only thing that never affects the prices are never affected in terms of the livestock show world, in terms of animals and stuff. So yeah, I think that there's still a demand. I think it's still going to be popular. I think just like everything else, as we've said on here a lot, we have to continue to do the things that are going to keep not just the hardcore, people in it, but getting those families that, maybe they only showed it, the mom or dad only showed at their county fair, but now they have kids and they want their kids to show again. To do that, we've got to continue to stress the positive parts of it. And that is that it is one of the greatest places to raise a kid. It's in a family environment. They learn so much in terms of goal setting, drive, determination, how to win and lose, how to compete, all of those things. We have to continue to stress that, let people know that. We also have to change and we have to evolve, because we're not perfect. It's not a perfect industry. There are things that need to happen, that need to be changed on several levels. And again, we've got to do that. And so that's why we started this podcast, is to talk about the stuff that nobody else wants to talk about. Y'all aren't out there talking about it, and y'all aren't talking to the people that can invoke the change, then it's always going to stay the same, and we will lose in popularity, and it will become something just that the diehards are going to do it, and that's not what we want.
Steve, I'm gonna echo exactly what Ryan said there, and I think the popularity will continue because of just what Ryan said. People are talking about those things that could bring down the industry. The political corruption is one that could do it, but we're talking about it and trying to make change. I think the explosion of unethical practices, people are going to get fed up with that. So we're trying to make change. I think as long as we have more good role models than bad role models in our industry, we're going to be fine. It's not on cruise control. We have to do things to make it better each and every day. And we can always do better. We just can. Every one of us, Ryan can, I can. All of us can, and we need to make a conscious effort, because
did you
so
just
much
say
good.
I'm not perfect?
I did.
Blasphemy.
I did not. I did not echo DeSantis and say that you need to be locked up.
Fine.
So we don't take it for granted. Please, we have something good here, something great here that has shaped so many of us. Let's all make an effort to do better. And we can. We know exactly where we need to do better. We know we need to speak out and stop the bad from overtaking the good. With that, Ryan, I think that was 3 questions, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That was very quick. Very quick question and answer. Until next week, be safe.
Y'all come back now, you hear?